how does this bring in revenue? Essentially, how I know you're here with fetchai in representing fetchai, but how is the alliance right now making money? And are you able to share or will share any revenue streams publicly in the future?
The answer to this last question is yes, we will share the revenue streams with public, but let me line up what the revenue streams look like. So if you look around and you want to use a large language model, you have options, you have kind of limited options. Some of them are open source, but they still have to be hosted. They still have to be limited, rate limited, because you can't just go unlimited. So there is a revenue stream which will come from there. Currently, all you need to do, because it's a trial product, all you need to do is stake or lock up 100 FET for X number of requests per day. Now, what is happening is that we are seeing a lot of businesses who are integrating with our APIs. Now, their demand or their requirement of hitting the API is much, much higher than individuals. So there is a charging mechanism there. But at the moment, we're just trialing so that we fulfill their requirements. As I was saying, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but we can kind of so out of the 14 or 15,000, we're probably expecting the people we're onboarding, 4,000 to 5,000 are actually businesses or projects who are actually using the API. So they are paying customers. So, and we're allowing them to use it without payment at the moment, but over the next, as they've built the product within the next few weeks, we are going to start charging. So that's one revenue stream. Then we go on to the next revenue stream, which is if you're going to build an agent and if you want to be represented, if you're an influencer, if you're a business, if you're a brand, and you're going to be represented by agents, the more connectivity you want to give to the agent, the more knowledge and context you want to give to the agent, you will have to pay for it. If you want to run the agent, it's not going to be for free. So there will be a charging mechanism there. But the first thing we do is if we put a barrier to entry and a charge, a paywall straight away, then people don't adapt. And unless people see the utility, unless people get used to it and they see, yes, I mean, you can see this model in all the tech companies. You have the freemium product and then you start charging. That's exactly what we're going to do, and that's what we are aiming to do. So, but to get to that, we need to have the product right, and that's what we're getting right. So then you have, so that's the next, running an agent is going to be registering an agent. You're having your agent name because that becomes like your web address. That will be charged, and you'll have to maintain it per annum, which will be, again, this is a very kind of tethered into the blockchain itself to run and to have that name, to have the agent address. You're going to pay. So that's another revenue stream. We're launching, as we were speaking just before, we're launching Fetch Coder, which is going to enable you to do coding, just like Claude or any of the others do, but at a fraction of the price, because we didn't spend billions. So we can enable that for developers at a much cheaper rate. So you can do all your Web3 smart contracts. You can, I think we published a video only a few days ago. You can actually write smart contracts with just prompting, and you can get them tested. You can get them deployed. You can do the same with agents. You can write any code in any language. We will be bringing that to the market, actually, I think in the next week. So you'll be seeing that. So you're hearing it here. And so we haven't been sitting there twiddling our thumbs. We have actively been working on product, because without the revenue, there is no, without the utility, there's no revenue. And without the revenue, there's nothing. I mean, we might as well be a failed project if we don't generate that revenue.
That's true, and I've seen that question asked a lot over the course of months or even years. Like, how is the alliance bringing in money, and how is it able to give you guys the funds to kind of progress things? And that does explain things quite a bit. So it's kind of, are you always going to have some kind of a free model, free-based LLM side of things for people, just to kind of bring people in?
Yeah, we have to follow what works, right? So in technology, freemium models work. But if you think about it, if you can get your questions answered and a small few things. You're not a heavy user as a person. Unless you become a heavy user as a business, you're using a small amount of compute, right? So you're asking questions, you're getting some answers. As soon as you get into like high utility, then we have to charge you because somebody has to pay for it. So of course the revenue will start coming in. We expecting people to become more and more used to this, but to bring to them the product which they become more used to, it takes time, and that's the time we're spending. And that's the I mean, it's not like you can't. I don't think the community can say, "Hey, you guys have not released any products." I mean, that was the problem a year ago because we were
Yeah.
working and we were not releasing because we had to be at that point. So we dispelled that disbelief that, hey, you guys are never going to release a product. Well, we have released a product almost every week. We have released a feature, we have released a product. We've done that. And we're still going to continue to do that. I've just told you we have Fetch Coder coming. It takes time, guys. Come on.
That's true. It does take time, and I think most people are just getting frustrated with just the lack of communication and addressing the features that have been added. But it seems like you guys are working a bit on that, and you're a little bit more forthcoming and letting us know like what features are being added and stuff like that, which makes my job a bit easier as well because
We released
you know
plenty of posts, Twitter posts, we blog posts. I think you're one of the people who actually takes it and explains it. Where maybe we just don't explain it enough, but we are actually publicizing all the features that we're releasing and the agents because we're building and showcasing agents every week, multiple agents every week, right? That's all
that's true.
part of the
That's true. I just ask that openness and the communication stays because I'm enjoying seeing some of the updates and the progress that you guys are seeing, and as long as that continues, that's great with me. All right, so
Well,
we'll go on to the
we made that change based on the community's feedback, and we at least we have something to show. We're releasing. I mean, majority of the projects in crypto space don't. What did it release? Nothing.
a lot of it's vaporware. A lot of it is, yeah. They promise and promise and promise, and that's the thing. Sometimes they overpromise, underdeliver. It should be the other way around, in my opinion. But
Which is
no,
why
I
I
didn't
don't.
even know.
I just released
Yeah.
it. I mean, we try and release it before we tell you what we're going to be releasing.
And then people almost have it in their head, the expectations of what it should look like, and then, if it's not exactly what they thought, then they're disappointed. And, I didn't even know that the LLM was coming out. It's just boom, it was there, and, and I
And
stay up to date on the news.
would you not think that it takes time and effort and or to
Oh, yeah.
build a project, and
Yep.
and we did it quietly, but we didn't want to tell you, hey, we're going to release it. Like, I mean, some other projects said we're going to build the best LLM. I mean, we're still waiting, and here we were. We just released it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I appreciate that because that's and in terms of being an investor, those types of events sometimes are buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So you release a product and then boom, your price goes down. Everybody knew that the product was coming, and then the community is frustrated because hey, you released this awesome product, but now the price goes down. So that's kind of a crypto thing that I kind of understand why you do it the way you do it, and in terms of that as well, like you're talking about monetizing the LLM in terms of using agents and advancing compute with corporations and businesses and things like that. Is this going to be something that will be paid in FET, or will you branch out and accept other terms, other payment systems as well for people who aren't in crypto?
We are going to accept FET payment, but we have to be very practical. If we're bringing people from outside of crypto, they would want to pay using credit cards, and they will be
Right.
allowed to pay using credit cards. What we will then do is convert that revenue or portion of that revenue to back to buying the FET and then taking that FET, and that brings me to earn and burn. It's not just burn, burn, and burn. It's earn and burn. And that's what we have been publicizing, that we need to create the revenue. We need to then convert that revenue or part of that revenue into the FET token and either distribute that to the community or I mean, as a dividend. But we are not a dividend holding security. We have to do different things differently. So we will be buying FET using the revenue that is generated. But But I think I urge the community to actually just try and understand what is happening here. We are releasing the product. Most people don't release the product. When you release the product and you can see there is a direct revenue model, then please just bear with us, because we are going to generate the revenue, because you can see the product coming. And the product will generate the revenue, and the revenue will generate the buyback that we've been asking for. I mean, there are other ways of buyback, and we'll come to that question. But you must see the cycle that is happening. If I did not give you a single product and I kept talking about the product, then there is something wrong. I mean, if after 4 years, 5 years worth of development, I gave you no product, then I feel it's justified to say, hey, you guys have delivered nothing. But we have been delivering.